I don't know what a bad song is, to be honest with you. It's like saying, a bad painting. And everything's open to interpretation, isn't it, with art? So, but based on the standards of, the masses, okay, what appeals to most people, right, is how we judge a song, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's what is appealing not just to me, but to the majority of people. There will always be a small pocket of people that will be attracted to any kind of art. It's pretty amazing that way. Abstract art, as an example, is a very good example of that. So it's a very interesting concept and very interesting discussion. Art, that's for sure, and of course, music, songwriting falls underneath that umbrella, big time, right? Of course, but generally speaking, a good song, right, is a good song, and we pretty much identify it. We hear it, we say, "Oh, wow, that's catchy," and it could be in any genre. And genres cross over oftentimes. We find that happening quite a lot. And it used to happen even more when we had a wider palette of genres. Okay, whereas these days we don't really. But not too long ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, definitely, you turned on the radio and you heard all kinds of music. From the Black Album, Metallica, to Ozzy Osbourne, to Bon Jovi, to, Harry Connick Jr., Kenny G with the clarinet. If anybody remember, he was pretty big for a while. To pop, of course, we had Whitney Houston and all the pop divas. The pop genre was always very strong, but so was rock, and they crossed over. Country crossed over to rock. Garth Brooks. He crossed over in a big way in Latin, like pop Latin crossed over to the radio waves in America, Canada, Australia, Europe, all over the place, with the likes of even Enrique Iglesias, huge hits over there. Of course we had the Michael Jacksons, the pop, the rock, but a lot of things crossed over, which was really very, very interesting. Today, we don't have as much of that. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to come around again and happen in the same way, because they do cross over. And so, just I guess the long answer to what is a good song, well, it's going to appeal to quite a large audience and a mixed audience. When the Black Album came out with Metallica, that was incredible, because I had friends, like I was never a very big fan of Metallica, even though I loved heavy metal, but I was more into like Iron Maiden, and Ozzy Osbourne, and not so much, more the melodic heavy metal, but Metallica, which was a bit too heavy for me for the most part, until the Black Album came out. When the Black Album came out, I was like blown away, but so were a lot of my friends. It was incredible. Guys that were pretty much, into clubbing and, dance music and, pop and all that stuff, had the Black Album in their car. It was amazing, and they're playing Enter the Sandman, and they're playing all these, because Metallica crossed over. The radio was playing them. So it was a big deal. Nirvana came on the scene, all that grunge stuff. Not all of it was appealing to the masses, but enough of it was. And it was identified as a good song.